got it?
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Fucking goat houses.
fucking goat houses. So, we're doing a podcast. Everybody wants to do a podcast, and nobody ever really does one. You ever notice that?
I don't know anybody who actually wants to do a podcast.
I've had so many people say that they want to do a podcast. I just figured I'd drag you into the affair.
Yeah, I mean, you want to do a podcast,
I
apparently.
have every reason to want to do a podcast. I'm trying to get famous at it. Anyway, I figure we ought to start this thing off right. Let's talk about Israel. Jack, you got any opinions on Israel?
No, I don't know shit about that.
How about you, Jay? What are your opinions on Israel?
Personal ones that don't involve me getting shot for talking about Israel.
Well, allow me to start us off. Israel is a difficult subject because it's not only a race, a nationality, and a religion, but there's some big old problems going on over there. They got them Palestinians in concentration camps, and we need to kind of maybe talk about that.
Maybe talk about how Israel is not a religion.
Well, Jewish faith is a religion, but there's sort of a conglomeration of all three, which makes it a difficult subject to bring up. However, these sort of activities are something that I condemn in the highest degree. I mean, now, what do you think about concentration camps, Jack?
Pretty fucked up.
That's right. I think the entire world would agree with you, Jack. You're a reasonable man. All right, next topic of conversation, Jay. You go.
There's a hotel we stayed in last night.
Oh yeah, that place was awesome. They had a nice little porch, and then a meth head accosted me.
Why? You definitely missed the interstate because you're worried about your podcast.
No, I was worried about the hotel, Jay. And now somebody's calling us. Kill the podcast.
Hi, bud. Pull over.
These stupid cars look like toasters. Looks like we're going to have to stitch this podcast together like an old Appalachian blanket.
Appalachian what?
An old Appalachian blanket, hand stitched, you know?
Blanket.
Blanket.
I thought you said wing, but like wang.
Well, you never know. I'll say anything. So, let's turn up here. Under the bridge?
Yeah.
Alright. Yeah, we missed the hell out of that turn.
We speaking French over here.
Well, I'm something of a cultured man.
Kentucky barbecue does not interest me.
Why not?
Because it's fucking Kentucky.
Alright,
What does
fair.
Kentucky know about barbecue?
They got a hell of a coal mine. That Harlan adventure was awesome.
I'm glad you enjoyed yourself.
I thoroughly did. What do you think about Harlan, Jack?
It was smaller than my town. So it fucking sucked.
Yeah. Your town is Philadelphia. Is that your opinion about the entire world? If it's smaller than Philly, it sucks?
He's on the opposite fucking side of the state. He's nowhere near Philly.
You're not from Philly?
No, I live in a fucking valley.
Ah,
We're closer to Philly right now than he is. Well, no, that's not true.
That's not true.
That's not true at all. That's not true at all. I forgot where we were.
I've never been to Philly.
It's a dumpster town, but it is kind of fun.
it's a lot of fun. I love Philly. I love hanging out on the rooftops there and running into construction sites.
There's also a lot of really cool history.
There is a big old cracked bell. Why is the Liberty Bell cracked? Does anybody know that?
I used to. I think it was something to do with the war.
So somebody shot it with a cannon?
I don't know.
Did they drop it?
Probably saved somebody's life.
How would a bell somebody? If anything, it would take a life. Oh, they might have hid behind it. I don't know. Maybe it just got old and cracked.
The metal was too brittle. It cracked during a test strike and had to be recast twice.
It's just a bitch of a bell, and that's why we put it on display. Then I was creating war stories for it, and it has no valor. It has no valor, Jay.
It's English.
Wait, the bell is important because it's a piece of shit?
I can relate to that.
I have to say, this is going about exactly how I thought it was going to go.
Yeah, we got good banter, but also being put on the spot's a little yee.
Little what?
It's a little yee.
Little yee?
Yeah, with a hand gesture. Yee.
Yeah, not like a yee, like a little yee.
That's more like being on a surfboard yee, what you got there. But
A surfboard yee? No, I'm pretty sure a yee is like a modern day redneck's yee-haw.
yeah, but it's like trying to tame like a defective horse.
Which is like surfing how? Actually,
No, I'm
you
comparing
know what?
you
I got you.
yees. Yeah, it's a bunch of different yees there.
There's more than one yee.
There's more than one yee. I think everyone can agree on that.
But there's only one yang.
And there's only one Wu-Tang. Wu-Tang Clan.
Wu-Tang's for the children.
That too. I liked Harlan a lot. A lot of good history there. The people were absolutely depressed due to the COVID. It's really put things, really put a depressing spin on our trip.
I thought it was funny when you were talking to the fucking waitress.
Do what?
I said it was funny when you were talking to the waitress.
Yeah, she wanted nothing to do with me. They usually don't. And I try. I always try.
I found it works better if you don't try.
Yeah. I'm immune to some of life's lessons.
Some?
Fair enough, most.
Damn it, should I grab the water?
Jack, can you reach your water back there?
Oh, you're the best.
You know what we need to do is stop at a Walmart and get a GoPro and have the countryside playing in the background or whatever kind of.
We were just at a Walmart.
Yeah, well, I forgot.
For fucking 2 hours.
Yeah, well, I forgot the entire 2 hours that I had a thing that I wanted to do. I was too busy writing. No, but yeah, that mountain road was crazy. Just a little one-lane road, all of a sudden traffic's coming at you from the other side, and they don't know how to drive.
They were doing a better job. No, they don't know how to drive. Are you kidding me? They were pulling over to the side of the road and turning their headlights off. That was brilliant.
Yeah, well, we do have a big old trailer, so we're kind of intimidating.
I don't even know that they can necessarily see the trailer, though.
Yeah, I'm surprised we didn't scratch nobody.
Well, that's what happens when you grow up driving down 9.
Yeah, no, I've definitely got mountain roads down. I've been driving since I was 8.
Well, you've been operating equipment since you were like 8 too, haven't you?
Yeah, I grew up logging. I definitely have driven many vehicles off mountain roads. You'd be surprised how far you can press that gas pedal down when you're careening through the air. It doesn't do you any good, but by God, reflexes, they're there. Ugh. Any other subject of conversation?
It's not raining anymore.
No, it isn't raining anymore.
I'm still muddy and wet.
You fell in a pond.
I did fell in a pond. Also, I got holes in my boots.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
You got wet socks all day?
Yeah.
I couldn't do that shit.
Well, we can't all be as badass as me, so.
No, we can't. Some limits aren't for the human imagination. Kingfishers.
What about them?
We discovered them the other day.
What do you mean you discovered them?
He pulled it up on the phone. I thought a fisher was a tiny little weasel.
Oh, you said kingfishers. I thought you were talking about like
I
kingfishermen.
think kingfishers are a bird, actually, but a fisher is a weasel government demon hybrid. You say you got them in your backyard, Jack?
Yeah, they're all over the woods. you got chickens, you better fucking lock them up because they love chickens.
I mean, alright. There's a topic. Let's talk about chickens.
Alright.
I don't think there is anything on the planet that doesn't love killing and eating chickens.
True. Vegans, maybe.
Like, I'm pretty sure if a squirrel could get big enough, a squirrel will go after a chicken.
No, absolutely. They're heartless critters.
Squirrels are not heartless. They're adorable.
Oh, yeah, but...
And they're playful.
Yeah, but, I mean, there's like a size ratio. Once, like, you're smaller than an animal, you get to see a different side of it.
Well, that's just house cats. I mean, if house cats were big enough to take us down, you don't think they would?
Oh, absolutely, man.
Yeah,
I'd rather than you in a puppy.
Fucking house
Actually, I was just writing about that. I was writing about the souls of animals and their maliciousness.
I don't think it's maliciousness. I think it's just primal.
Some critters, when you look in their eyes, can be as disturbing as to look into the eyes of a man with a sick soul, you know? You can really read a lot. Like, you look at a goat, motherfucker's mindless. You got nothing going on in there.
That's not true. Their eyes are just weird. Goats are very sweet animals.
I don't like
Donkeys. Donkeys are some evil sons of bitches.
They can be.
I've never met a nice donkey.
Yeah, you know what? They are kind of assholes.
I see what you did there.
I didn't. Oh, yeah. All right. No, but think about it. Like, it's a mule. The donkey's a natural critter. Mule's unnatural.
I mean, at this point, are they really unnatural?
Yeah, I mean, you think about it, we've changed the apple. We've changed the brassica plant to like 4 or 5 different things.
You know, all bananas are clones.
I knew there was something wrong with those pieces of shit.
I love bananas.
You know, I had bananas in the tropics, and for some reason, when they're grown down there, the soil, the sun, the spray of the sea, whatever, they are so flavorful and delicious. You come back to the state.
But that's what I'm talking about.
You come back to the state and you eat a banana, and you're like, man, I sure do love cardboard more than this.
It's all the same banana. It is one banana that's been cloned over and over and over again, and all these banana trees are all fucking regulated. Just like anything, Monsanto's completely taken over how we get our food in this country.
Yeah, man. The corporate machine is real.
Power of positivity.
What?
It's the power of positivity.
Yeah, man. They had dreams. They believed in themselves. Took over whole islands.
Cover the whole world.
Took over the whole world. You ever wonder who sits on top of the globalist empire?
Man, I don't.
Is George Soros? I mean, he's about as high a profile case as I can see. I mean, he definitely took out the CIA the head of the CIA with the sex scandal. So I'd say that's pretty powerful.
I don't think there's one.
You think it's an oligarchy? Something like a Bilderberg establishment? A bunch of people sitting around planning 9/11s and shit?
No, we're not going down the 9/11 road. Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
All right. But you think it's an oligarchy of corporations, right?
I mean, I would say so.
Yeah, that seems the most logical given the circumstances.
I mean, it's kind of just like warring clans throughout history, except instead of like swords, it's bank accounts.
No, yeah, after the atomic bomb dropped, the warfare became economic. And that's where you get the Cold War, just two countries trying to buy up as much power.
Yeah, I mean, it's...
And there's a real good book, Confessions of an Economic Hitman, that'll really lay it out on the table for you.
I don't know how to read.
I don't know how to write. Just go at it like a madman.
Oh, good. Road work.
Kentucky never fails to surprise. I haven't spent that much time in this state.
I've spent plenty.
Don't think that I want to.
There are parts of Kentucky that are absolutely gorgeous.
I didn't mind Harlan. I know it was rough, but the scenery was great.
I actually like the place we ate at. I could fucking sit in there all day.
That was the only damn bar in there. In that whole town, that's the only place.
Well, Harlan County was dry till maybe 10 years ago.
Oh, that's an interesting little bit of history. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, according to that accident last night, maybe it should have stayed dry.
You see a lot of small communities like that, like Old Fort back home.
Yeah, Old Fort's
So like a lot of people, they'll keep counties and towns dry under the ruse of religious purposes, like, you know, Christians, Baptists being like, no alcohol. But actually, when you look at rural southern towns like that, normally what it is moonshiners paying politicians to keep towns dry because it helps ensure their
Now that's what's up. I can get behind that.
I don't know. I mean, I get it, and I'm all down to support the local economy.
Right. No.
But
there's a lot of.
I also enjoy beer.
There's a lot of criminal enterprises that I tend to see as legitimate businesses.
Well,
That
I feel
being
like
one of them.
I feel like every criminal enterprise is a legitimate business. If it wasn't, it wouldn't be an enterprise.
Fair enough, but I'm just saying, like, as far as the eyes of the law are concerned, such things as the illegalization of marijuana.
I'm talking about whether it's
moonshine.
moral or not.
Well, I think on a moral level, if you're going to put something in your body, I mean, go for it. Go and drink antifreeze. Hell, if I'm going to stop you, I'm going to sit back and watch. But I think a lot of the drug problems in our nation should be handled as healthcare problems as opposed to problems of justice. I think that's a little backwards. It causes a good bit of strife in a lot of people's lives in the system itself, and diverts its attention away from.
Yeah, but it's not about the people. It's about making the government money.
Yeah. Well,
The days of the government caring about the average American are long since gone.
no, man is corporation now. It's one of the reasons I turned myself into the corporations, to be seen as an individual again.
Wait, what?
What? I branded myself. I chose a moniker. I have products I sell. I'm an independent producer, an unsuccessful one. I make like 37 cents off each book, but by God, I'm trying. So what do you guys, let's talk about Jesus for a second. You think he should have paid his employees better? Because he definitely got sold out for 30 pieces of silver. 30 denarius. I have a denarius in my pocket at the moment. It's worth a day's wages to a laborer or a soldier. Motherfucker was behind 1 month on rent. And he was behind 1 month on rent because he was following a crazy person out in the middle of the desert. He came home to his wife, and she beat the shit out of him. And then he sold Jesus out. That's exactly how I view that story.
So what's one day's wages for a man like him, present day?
$120 is about modern day workers' daily wages. But one of the ways that we can assess the value of ancient currency versus modern one is to look at a common commodity, in this case bread. It's 20 loaves of bread. So it's not that bad. Jesus was a tax collector, wasn't he? So he was above average. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's probably just missing out on 2 weeks worth of work, got beat by the rolling pin, and
I mean, he could afford. I don't know.
yeah, I don't know if any of that shit is true. It's gone through councils of Carthage and all sorts of reiterations to the point where no one knows who wrote the book of, it's either Mark or John.
It was me.
It was you.
It was me.
The whole time?
Yeah.
You time traveling son of a bitch. You got to teach me your ways. I got a couple things I wouldn't mind rewriting.
Oh, it doesn't work like that, bud.
Oh yeah, it just shoots you off in an alternate timeline and everything that happens.
Butterfly effect.
Butterfly effect. Is that how you think time travel works?
I mean, yeah. I'd say that, like, you could move forward and change something in the future and it wouldn't matter.
We change shit in the
Wait.
future. Watch me crash this car. I'm gonna change the future right now.
No, see, that's not changing future. That's making the future.
Well, it was going to be one future if you didn't do something, and now it's another future.
But you can't go backwards and mess with something and expect it not to affect life later down the road.
What could you change in the past that wouldn't?
Nothing. Nothing. That's the butterfly effect. Nothing. There's nothing you can do.
Nothing to be done about the past, you say. Why are we listening to jazz? This is the East Coast Cowboys podcast.
This is not jazz. This is blues.
Wait, I thought you had a different podcast.
East Coast, we're the East Coast Cowboys, man.
Is that what this podcast is?
That's what I'm calling it.
How are we doing on gas?
Yeah, we're pretty good.
Pretty. What? That's not a. That's not a unit of measurement.
Well, it's better than pretty bad. Should put things into perspective. No, we got 3/4 of a tank.
Okay. That's a unit of measurement.
3/4.
Also, Jillian Welch wrote this song.
Who's that?
A country singer.
Well, I gathered he's a country singer.
It's she. She is a country singer.
Is it she?
Yes. Jillian?
Jillian?
Yeah.
Welsh.
I feel like that's a lady name.
Okay.
Would there be a man named Jillian?
Yeah, I'd school with one.
Jillian or Julian?
Julian.
Julian. Yeah, see, Julian can go either way.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think Jillian can go either way. I could be wrong. I'm just saying I've never met a man named Jillian. Like Jill.
Who the fuck names their daughter Jillian?
People from Appalachia.
Yeah, we got some Jillians.
I mean, I guess technically you are too, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
you definitely are, but
I've always thought that it makes more sense to organize the United States to create another 30 or a 53rd state and just have it be the entire Appalachian mountain chain, because it really is kind of a more uniform culture than the rest of North Carolina.
yeah, but it still divides halfway up Virginia, regardless. Once you hit the Mason-Dixon line, Appalachia still changes. The landscape stays similar.
So you say the culture changes there.
Absolutely, and that's at the end of the day, I think
we have,
that's the
like-
biggest thing about every state. I mean, yes, they all have different laws and they're governed differently,
Yeah.
but there is a different culture, and the culture is what I feel like a lot of the laws are based off of.
Yeah, but look at North Carolina. You have at least 3 distinct subcultures.
Yes, but a North Carolinian is a North Carolinian is a North Carolinian.
Yeah, but they're very similar to the Tennessee folk. I know, I fought them.
Yeah, but I understand that a North Carolinian from the coast is different than one from the mountains.
Yeah.
But our love for our state, I think, and the embodiment of being a North Carolinian is bigger than the subclasses of Western versus Eastern.
Okay.
We'll fight the whole world on anything. We only fight ourselves on which part of the state has better barbecue.
Yeah, alright. Consider me a subscriber to your argument.
Oh, and I guess basketball.
I hate sports.
I know you hate sports, but you can't. Even someone who hates sports has to understand that Chapel Hill and Duke just can't stand each other.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
These new tires are going. They're pretty smooth. There's a big difference in how this machine is handling.
Why are we still not even to Lexington yet? It's your fault.
Dang it, Jack.
How's it my fault?
Because I said so.
He is the boss.
Am I though?
I gotta say, I really like this job.
It's alright.
It's a pretty nice paycheck. Bunch of driving, bunch of music. Good times, good people. A lot of good people in this company. Wild people, but good people.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. I do enjoy when stuff doesn't break every day. But, you know.
Gives me something to write about. Puts a little dramatic tension in our affairs. Something outside of the realm of personality. Well, I got a new book. Should be coming out within the next 3 months. It's called Savage is the Dog. It is for people that like their coffee with a shot of adrenaline. It's an adventure story which focuses on some of the sociological forces in the third world countries, and well, it's a big old exciting time. There's snakes and planes and ants, and all the jungly things you can imagine. You'll love it. Pick it up on Amazon. I might try to actually go with a legitimate publisher this time, since I've produced 3 of these damn things. I've been looking at the books in the Dollar General, and they're all Random House Publishing. Then the ones in Walmart are like Axel or something like that. It's a publishing company I've never heard of.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know Dollar General sold books.
They have a little wheel. Like, the shit that I write is better than like most of those books. So I don't really feel like I have too much competition.
You know what I feel like?
What do you feel like?
Tacos.
Tacos. Now we could go for some tacos here. Is that
Not like a Taco Bell. I'm thinking
No,
for
there
dinner we do tacos.
for dinner we did over tonight?
Yeah. Nah, we can definitely get food between here and Louisville, but we need to do like fast food. We've lost enough time today. I'm not trying to go sit down somewhere and eat.
Yeah, no, fuck that. We need to keep the wheels in the bus turning.
I hear they go round and round.
You know, that's typically how a circle works.
I don't know. I thought it might be square and square, but
All right.
I don't know. I'm new here.
I'm still working on my shapes.
Yeah, there's triangles and purples and squares.
No, I'm not that advanced yet. So, here's something interesting.
Is it?
The Piasaw bird is a lithograph by a Mesoamerican man set up against the walls of this cliff when you're coming into an area near, what is it? Someplace in Mississippi. Anyway, there was the largest Mesoamerican community, just a huge city of Native Americans. Their tribe was called the Cahokia. And they warned other people that they were getting into their territory with this huge, huge fucking piece of art on the cliffside. It was called the Piasaw bird. It had the face of a man, the teeth of a jungle cat. It had a beard. It had antlers. It had the tail of a snake. It had wings. It was a straight up fucking dragon. And a journalist came through the West and wrote about it, told us all about how it looks like, how fucking cool it is, and you will never ever see what the Piasaw bird actually looked like, because the Minnesota Lime Company came through and blew the damn thing up before anyone could take a picture of it.
Fun.
Yeah. Bastards.
I heard something interesting the other day.
What did you hear?
This guy is talking about dragons.
Alright, go on.
And he was like, You ever wondered if where the idea of dragons come from is just people digging up dinosaurs
Fuck yeah, man.
and just not understanding how to explain them, and just mythology goes wild, and that's our dragons?
Well, yeah, I mean, if you think about it, you can find all the parts to a dragon. You find a T-Rex skull, you're like, whoa, yikes. Don't want to cross paths with whatever is in this territory. But also, like, you could probably find Tyrannosaur wings. So instead of imagining it's a plethora of creatures over several million years, you probably just make the assumption that, like, this is another one of them damn things. It's just one damn thing.
I don't want to mess with this thing. Whatever creature this is, I'm not about it. It could probably kill me.
The largest sauropod was known as Seismosaurus, and its pelvic bone is like, well, it's just pelvic bone alone is like 2 of those tractor trailers stacked on it. It's fucking huge. But can you imagine being in the antediluvian world and looking up at this Jurassic thing just munching on weird trees? Do you think it would give a shit about you or not? Like, you think it would look down and saw you sitting there opening it, that it would take the time to flick a tail at you, or like cast a fucking kick?
I think it would depend.
Would you run up and stab it?
Well, I mean, like, think about it this way. There are people in the world that see ants and they let the ants continue to walk by them. And then there are people in the world who are like, I'm going to burn this guy with a magnifying glass, you know, so...
Damn, you're right. You could walk through a whole herd of them and then one of them being like, fuck that dude. Like, they might all be chill with you. It's just takes one.
Yeah.
I can't wait for the new Jurassic Park movie.
I haven't seen any of the new ones.
They need more Jurassic Park video games, man. I remember back in the early 2000s, I was playing the 90s games on my cousin's Sega Master System. Those games are fucking awesome, man. Put a fervor in my heart for dinosaurs ever since. And also the desire to kill them.
Well, they're all dead, so...
Yeah, just a desire. You know what I'd do if I saw a whale?
If you proceed to say what I think you're going to say, and you want people to enjoy listening to this bullshit, I recommend you don't.
I would take a picture of it.
That's a good answer.
Whaling is an interesting subject because the Japanese, they almost exclusively dominate the market of whaling.
Have you seen the South Park episode where they go against the Japanese whalers?
Well, yeah, so it's Greenpeace has what they call sea shepherds, and they send them out there with like sonic cannons and water cannons, and they go out and they battle these things and battle these whalers, and they'll actually like pull the whales up on deck, cut them open, and drop them back in the water, like just to horrify all these people. But they're so militant. If you watch the show Whale Wars, they're Trustafarian pasty people that are very, very radicalized and very, very passionate. But the way that they're going about this entire thing is from a sense of drama and not from a sense of finding a solution. What the Japanese are doing in reality is honoring their elders. Their elders are a very important part of their culture, and honestly, it's not a bad way to be. But they grew up on whale meat, and they have a desire for it, and therefore the entire industry is going and getting a meat. It's not even regular whales. Like, if you ever see the whales that they're actually pulling up, I don't know what type of whale it is, but it's a weird ass looking whale. But that's their whole thing, is that they're honoring tradition and culture and their elders. And then we're coming in here just raising a riot from a naturalistic standpoint, and it creates this weird conflict that somebody put on a television camera, and the show itself is more profitable than the entire fucking whaling industry. So there's another bastard in the bunch. Anyways, it's a very interesting moral conflict. It's not entirely black and white. Both sides are militant. Both sides are militant about this, but they're both coming at it from a sense of affectionate passion for some other entity. Anyway, I wrote about whaling a little bit in Savage as the Dawn. Maybe buy that. Buy the book.
So now I'm realizing that the past 10 minutes of bullshit was just a plug for the book.
I'm building. It's a propaganda campaign. I got good reasons to do what I do. Probably gonna edit that out. At least we're not getting whipped about by those tailwinds anymore when these trucks passes.
Man, I don't know.
Jack, what's our time looking like? We're close to an hour.
What does it say that the fucking top thing?
I got no clue, man.
36 minutes or some shit.
Do what?
I think it's like 36 minutes.
So we've got 36 minutes. Yeah, I'm gonna try to do an hour, and then if this doesn't get me canceled, I'll keep going with doing podcasts.
I think you were canceled before you started.
Well, you can't cancel what's not famous. I'm really banking on cancel culture to pull through for me. It's not a bad strategy. Travis once told me when I was wee little, he was looking at some books, and he's like, there's a bunch of political books. He's like, you ever want to get famous writing books? Just say all the most controversial things that you could possibly think of, and it will absolutely get people talking. I don't necessarily want to be famous so much as I just need to be heard. I feel like I do have some good arguments on some things. I guess there's a right way to go about things. Also, if we keep this up, we might record ourselves in a car crash.
Maybe.
Because the podcast is ongoing on the road.
Are you hoping for that?
Feed off drama.
Okay, well,
Not hoping for a car crash, no, I'm just saying. Get some clicks, get some views. I'm fired tomorrow, aren't I?
you might be fired today at this rate. So we got about 23 minutes to find out.
Alright. Well, better mind my P's and Q's then.
Where does that expression come from?
Mind my P's and Q's?
Yeah.
P and Q look similar, so I imagine it comes from the confusion of mixing those two letters up and handwriting poorly.
That's the only thing. P and a Q, like, I feel like if that's the argument, then I'd use like C and G. Okay.
Lowercase.
Okay. All right.
That's just an assumption off the top of my head. It might mean something else. What are some other expressions that they're just like, why do we say this? Out of the frying pan into the fire. I mean, you'd be better off saying spite the bear trap just to meet with the bear. You know, at least that one's fresh.
I don't know why, but that made me really hungry.
The bear part or the fire pan part?
A little bit of both. Little column A, little column B.
You heinous mountain man.
I've driven this road many a time. Many a time. Going to Columbus.
Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah.
I've never been to Ohio. Everyone in my hometown talks about Ohio.
I thought you came up to see me one time, did you not?
No. I just Greyhounded you out of there, man.
No, that was Colorado.
No, I've never been to Ohio. I don't know. Is it flat? Is it mountainous? Are there lakes up there? Do people live up there?
There are a lot of people that live there. There's a lot of deer that live there, and there's a lot of corn that lives there.
It's like Delaware.
Except not as flat. I mean, Ohio has parts that are flat as hell. Then you get closer to the West Virginia side, and they got like these little baby hills, like they're kind of woodsy. And then there's you can go north, and you're on like one of the Great Lakes. It's like right beside Michigan. There's also some like really awesome big hilly parts that are all just like Amish and corn.
Oh.
I can't stand. There's so fucking many Amish around where I live. You cannot fucking drive down the road without seeing them.
And what's wrong with that?
They fucking take up the road and then you gotta wait to get around them. But they do build good shit. So.
They build great shit.
Yeah.
And they make great food.
Besides the fact that.
Oh yeah, Mennonites are great cooks. I found a Mennonite kitchen one time on the road when I was building a solar field in Georgia. Fantastic.
What is the difference between Mennonites and Amish? I mean, I know they're different, but I feel like their cultures are relatively similar.
Their cultures are similar. Hats. It comes down to hats, I think.
It does not come down to hats.
No, they have different dress codes for sure. One of them is like women have to wear hats in Mennonite culture. I'm pretty sure women have to wear hats in Mennonite.
And Amish can't use.
That's your white little bonnets.
Amish aren't supposed to use like cars or phones at all.
Yeah.
And Mennonite apparently can't.
Is rumspringing a real thing?
Yeah. Rumspringa is definitely a real thing.
They just go college kid out for a little bit?
Yeah.
Get all their pent up cultural energies out?
Well, and they basically decide, like, if they want to come home after it's over, they can come home. But if they want to stay out, they can stay out. But I feel like once they stay out, they're never allowed to come back. I think that's how that works.
Yeah, because they got that old Irish shun going on. I'm a big fan of the Irish shun. No, Amish shun, not Irish shun. It's Irish goodbye, it's Amish shun.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out what you were going with right there. You are a big fan of the Irish goodbye.
Yeah, and the Amish shun. Amish shun is effective as fuck. If I don't like you, I don't want to talk to you. But it's not an invitation to go silent. Like all humans.
I think there's something to be said about not talking to somebody that you don't care for. I think that goes into, like, you know, just making sure that you're doing everything you can in your life to surround yourself with things that are going to make you happy.
Right.
So I like, that goes into, like, good and bad selfishness. Like, I think it's important in life to be selfish. You should always do what's best for you, want what's best for you, do what makes you happy. But then there's also just, you know, being a dick.
Yeah, there's levels of that. Like, sometimes I'm not paying attention to a person just because I see my time as being better elsewhere. There's a sense of apathy, like I haven't really comprehended what it is you would possibly bring to the table over here. And then there's absolute just moral disgust and hatreds. They're more coming out of moral disgust and hatred aspect of that sort of behavior. They just full on turn their back on it. I'm not sure if there's any religious specific difference in the faith of a Mennonite and the faith of an Amish person.
I guarantee you that if you asked both of them about it, they would disagree with that, and they would be able to tell you exactly what the difference was.
Well, most
other than hats and electricity usage.
I think it's a cultural thing. I think they're both on. They're both supporters of the idea that Jesus is the Savior, which died on the cross for the sins of humanity.
I mean, I get that. I'm just saying I'm pretty sure it's pretty more severe than just like, well, I'm a Baptist, I'm a Presbyterian. You know what I
Some
mean?
Baptists and some Presbyterians take their differences quite seriously.
Oh.
And there's a large cultural difference. Baptists are way more backwards.
Yeah, well, I mean, you want to get like severe, talk about like Baptists and Catholics.
Yeah, when I was in Bible college, they literally drew a spectrum on the board, and they said these are the different religions. In the middle was what's Kip's Lutheran Church, and essentially the division there is you either believe that the authority of God comes directly through the church, or you believe the authority of God comes directly through the written scripture, the Bible.
Yeah.
The Baptists believe in the authority of the written word and will argue with one another on that point. And the Catholics believe in the authority of themselves, of religious figureheads. Everyone else falls somewhere in the spectrum.
So what you're telling me is one wants to go by the book and the other wants to use the book to their advantage.
Yes, but we're now at a point in time where they all use everything to their advantage. But yes, you are understanding that correctly.
Yeah,
That was the whole point with Martin Luther, was he was essentially fed up with the Catholic Church basically just misleading everyone and using their power in a negative way. So he stayed up all night and just wrote everything down that made him mad about the Catholic Church, and then went up to the church and nailed it on the door.
He also translated the Bible for the common people into German.
Which they did not like that very much.
Yeah, because now the populace can openly call them hypocrites. Changed the world for the better.
See, my whole issue with religion has always been, who the fuck? It's been around for so long. It's been manipulated and all kinds of shit. So why would you live your life by it?
Faith.
Honestly, there is something of an argument for an individual to have a code in place which keeps them from acting in incredibly nihilistic and self-destructive ways. You kind of got to have some higher goal or some higher purpose or something to build upon in order to build a sense of self and go forward making positive lifestyle choices. So religion fills that void. Strong political beliefs fill that void, and philosophical beliefs fill that void.
Peanut butter also fills that void. Dude, I eat a goat's asshole right now. I'm pretty hungry.
Well, that's also on the podcast. Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen.
I would not eat McDonald's though.
Now, if you take McDonald's food and you place it on the ground, ants will walk around the damn hamburger. Like, animals won't eat McDonald's food. They straight know better.
This is rubber and chemicals.
I mean, I would hate to get judged by a possum, but if I tried to feed a possum a McDouble, he would look me in the eye with such contempt as to wound my soul.
And then you'd be getting gravy shots because you go after you instead.
Yeah, I am something of a sweetie.
Why would you guys like McDonald's?
We were raised on McDonald's, so it's just kind of like comfort food.
McDonald's I can
Do you know how much McDonald's we had to eat?
Yeah, our parents were like, "We're gonna feed this kid." Nah.
What about Taco Bell? You gotta like Taco Bell.
Taco Bell changed their menu lately.
Yeah.
They're just like, "You want lettuce on lettuce?"
90% of the menu's gone, but the diarrhea stayed the same. And
Now it's just E. coli.
it's always been E. coli.
Oh, was it really?
I feel like every, 14, 16 months, there's some part of the country's Taco Bells that just gets shut down because of E. coli.
Yeah, didn't the whole restaurant chain, like Jack in the Box, get like wiped out due to plate?
Jackbox, it still exists.
They took a severe hit though.
Yeah. I mean, everybody has. Like, Wendy's found a finger in the chili.
That had to have been a hoax. That's some Upton Sinclair jungle bullshit right there.
I think it came out that she had brought the finger in and put it in the chili.
She brought a finger in.
Where'd she get the fucking
Where did she get the fucking finger?
These are the questions we ask ourselves.
Humanity is so bizarre.
Go check her children's hands.
Go check her children's hands.
Why
Make
were
it a
they
priority?
I don't think anyone said they were baby fingers. I think it was like an adult.
Well, I mean, it'd be easier to get a finger from a baby than from an adult.
Although I'm not gonna lie, if I knew I was in a situation where I could potentially get like $10 million or more, who knows? I don't know what the worth of eating a chili finger is, but I know it's got to be a few mil.
It's gone if you eat it.
I'm just saying, I would definitely consider chopping a finger off. I mean, like your left pinky finger.
But if it's your finger, you have no argument because they're like, well, where's your finger? And you're like, well, you know, I'm also the chili cook. I lost a finger. And then you can't do that. It has to be, you have to go after another individual, ideally a co-conspirator who has some sort of masochistic tendency.
I mean, I'd give you my finger.
Yeah, see, we're perfect for this sort of scheme. Except now it's on the air and we can't do it. No finger.
Not to mention, I feel like once it's been done once, it can never be done again. Like, nobody is ever going to believe a second person found a finger in their Wendy's chili and it was a legitimate thing.
Or like the mouse in Mountain Dew. And then they got out of that court case by like dissolving an actual mouse in their soda, and they're like, it would have broke down in 10 days.
You know, there's like a level of like feces allowed in food. Like in mass-produced food, there's a level. Like you can go into a chocolate factory or something. Like there is a minute level of rat shit that is allowed to be like in the food. Like they come out and test, and they're like, all right, well, this is such a small amount of like one rat pooped in enough chocolate for like 100,000 candy bars. So it's fine. It'll be diluted.
That is a large amount of profit to lose on account of one rat's excrement. Fair enough. But imagine the job where you're like looking at the levels and you're like, it's getting close, but now I'll allow it.
I think I'd never eat that product again. But
no, yeah, I mean,
also it can't be that. I'm sure it's just like a pH strip or something. You know, I'm sure the test isn't hard, but you still know what you're testing.
You're probably just testing for ammonia levels, really.
I don't know.
Or nitrate levels, yeah.
I know on soda cans, there's always fucking rat piss on soda cans. So.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised. I've noticed PBR and Red Bull, specifically, those two products. There's always cigarette ash on the top of the cans.
Really?
Yeah.
I support PBR all the way. I hate the bottle game, honestly, because it just wastes so much time for like the bartenders to be like, "What's the cap? What is it?" And I'm just like, I just want the beer.
I don't know. I've won so much free Paps in my lifetime.
Yeah, I just guess King of Diamonds every single time, and then it's like a 1 out of 52 odds. I know as soon as I change it.
Nah, see, I just guess
piss one of the bartenders off, and they're gonna be like, "Nah, give me that." What?
I guess what I feel.
What?
At the moment, like when they pop open the carton, I'm just like, this is what I feel like it is. I don't have just like a regular one.
I don't want to think that hard before I drink.
Well, it's not thinking. It's just the first thing that comes out of my mouth.
Yeah, but I have to remember the deck of cards, or I'll say purple number 22.
Well, that just doesn't make sense.
Purple star number 22. Like, I don't know these cards.
It's 4 suits that you've been around your entire life.
Yeah, but there are gaps in my knowledge. We know this.
I understand, but that shouldn't be one of them.
It's math.
What the fuck are you guys talking?
I don't know. I don't think our audience does either. Set us straight, Jack. Put us back on track. Give us something.
not know? Do you know your 4 suits and a deck of cards?
What the fuck is that?
All right.
All right, yeah.
You know what?
I win again, just like always.
He's 18.
And I don't know shit about things I should know, so.
Well, I don't think anyone younger than us actually has ever like messed with cards. Like,
know
why
what?
would they play with cards anymore?
Ooh.
They have
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
TikTok.
Oh no, you have the whole company uses TikTok, and I don't like it. I don't like TikTok.
The only card game I can play is Slapjack, so.
I'll slapjack you here in a second.
Oh, that was beautiful. Don't ginger attack Jack back there. Well, what's our time at, Jack?
55 minutes.
All right, let's wrap this up. What's the most controversial thing we can say?
No.
Okay. All right, we've hit every nerve. Yep. I feel rather accomplished. This is.
Do you feel accomplished? Is this everything you hoped for and more?
Yeah.
Have we filled your deepest, darkest desires?
For a rat bastard such as myself, I feel like I'm sitting quite atop a pile of rat shit.
Do you want to shoot yourself or just me?
I mean, I'm down.
All right.
Suicide pact?
You're not invited.
Aww.
Alright, am I ending this?
Yeah, go ahead and kill it.